Hey folks, Cody here, back with another beginner bluegrass guitar lesson. So even though I went to school for bluegrass music up in Johnson City, Tennessee at East Tennessee State University's Bluegrass and Old Time Country Music program, after I graduated, I definitely didn't focus on music for a while, ended up plateauing, and in relearning how to play, and especially focusing on guitar here, I've come to figure out just how difficult this style of music is to learn. So I take it nice and slow here on this channel. In this lesson, I'm going to connect a couple dots and give you a useful box, is what I'm calling it, that you can take and learn other tunes with, okay? This first one, we are focusing on Big Sandy River, or at least the first handful of notes. Okay? Now the way that I think about learning a new break is that there's usually a couple of really pronounced portions of the song, okay? Some might refer to this as a motif, but really I just think of them as the most recognizable parts of a song. And with bluegrass music, playing that melody, especially during the first couple measures, is pretty important. But then after that's where you start throwing in the licks and the runs and everything that you see on my short form content, okay? So let's focus first on Big Sandy River, and then let's just take the first notes, add one more, and learn the intro to another song, okay? We are in the key of A today, and anytime, well, I'll say 99% of the time, when you are playing bluegrass tunes in the key of A, that capo is going to be on the second fret there, and you'll play your main chords as G, C, and D. Your relative minor is that E minor. This is what we call the G position, but when you have the capo on the second fret, you're in the key of A. So these are our home bases here, and where I'm working at throughout this entire part here is open 1, 2, 3, just for both the songs here, on my high E string, and then the same thing on my B string, okay? So nice and slow. So open, 2, 3, okay? All right, open, 2, 3, open, 1, 3 on the B string, okay? The timing's gonna be important. I'm moving up and down on my alternate picking pattern here. After that third fret on your B string there, you're gonna go up pick on the open E string. So you gotta make sure that finger there is super curled and it's not getting in the way. Okay, then back to the third fret B string. Okay, and then we're gonna go first fret to open. Okay. All right, now as you speed this up, what I would focus on is trying to turn that last note into one clean pull off, all right? Just like that. Just like that. And that is the first intro. You can go and start learning Big Sandy River off that. That is what I imagine, at least. Let me know in your comments how you approach these tunes. But for me, that's really the quintessential part that you gotta get right, or something along those lines. I know, I listened to Brian Sutton's version this morning, and he throws some extra notes in it, and which sounds super cool, okay? But just to spotlight another bit here, right there, make sure you lock in how your fingers feel. That movement needs to be used with a metronome to get that nice and fluid. That's just a cool chromatic, walk up there, or just sequence of 4 notes that we can use a lot and really get a lot out of. Part 2, Clinch Mountain Backstep. We're going to use this same sort of box, I'll call it a box. There's a quick graphic there to sort of think about how this can be a box. And we're gonna add one little dot to that box right on top there. That is our flattened third, which I talk about in other videos, so go and explore my other lessons. And I call this a blue note, all right? Because this is one of those right there, that note that really gives us a lot of bluegrass real estate, as I call it, okay? But real fast, I'll play it with the metronome so you know what it sounds like. And we're just focusing on a handful of notes here. Remember, the takeaway is that we can use these notes in tons of bluegrass songs and as we're learning to improvise. Okay, I'll put a tab down in the description if you guys like to download the A part here. And there's tons of different ways to play this, but here's what I'm doing. I'm going 3rd fret, 1st fret on the E string, high E string. Okay, then 3rd fret, B string, back to the 1st fret, hit there on the high E string. Okay, so, and right there, try your best to have both those notes be ringing out together. Okay, 3, 1, 3, 1 on the high E string, and then I'm going 3, 1 on the B string. Okay, and then my fingers already poised here should just move that up on the 3rd fret G string to get my to get the next part. Right here. Open. Okay? And then it repeats. 3, 1, 3, 1. Okay, so all of that nice and slow. Okay, I'm moving down up on my picking pattern. All right, and again, that's just a handful of notes. Make sure that they're nice and clean. You don't want your fingers getting in the way of anything. And make sure that, like, when you're kind of looking at it from this angle here, that your fingers are staying as close as you can get them to the fretboard. So when you're in between notes, don't have them fly off like that. Just try to be mindful that they need to stay really close there to that fretboard. Folks, if you like this style of teaching, going nice and slow, making it easy for you, I do offer an entire Bluegrass course / membership that's aimed for beginner players to really understand how this music works. I take you through it nice and slow. There's on-screen tabs, which is great at this level because you have another bit of information there to help you put all of this together. It does require practice, and I go into details about how to do that. We look at over 45 licks and exercises, and there's an update coming here pretty soon, which means the price that it is at now won't be around for a long time. I really dislike the subscription-based model where you don't own anything outright. I think it's awful. I hate seeing reoccurring subscriptions pop up on my statements every month. It angers me, and so it's a one-time purchase. Get in there. I'm gonna be adding more to it. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Let me know what you think about the videos down in the comments. I'm always trying to get to know you better, understand where you're at, and what you'd like to learn here, all right? We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.